What up, YouTube? It's your boy Detroit Love with another video. So you either have created a vertical cabinet or thinking about creating and modding a vertical cab. This is what you need to do for player 2. So if you have a vertical cabinet, you have a few options regarding how you want to configure your buttons. I have a video I just did showing you how you can configure those. But the thing with the vertical is how do you want to handle two-player? Now some people say, well, with the cabinet, I don't really play a whole lot of, oh, that's a lot of dust under there. I don't want to, I don't care about playing two players, because when I get into the groove of my game, I'll just play, and then once I get done, my buddy will play. So I don't really play two players at the same time, alternating controls. If you want to do that, you are going to need a second encoder. So let's get my handy dandy neck knife. You will need a second encoder in order to configure a second player. So that's what we're going to do today. The link's in the description. You've seen these before. If you got a Street Fighter 2, a two-player, you have all the cables and wires for two controllers. But in this case, you don't have two sets of controls, but you need this. And you obviously need the power. And you don't necessarily need these cables for this. So now there's different type of USB encoders, and you have to decide which one you like best. This type here has the USB. It's a standard USB cable, and so it plugs out. It plugs into the USB port there. The challenge with this one is if you're trying to fit it on the bottom of your control panel, this cord has to go a certain direction, so it kind of limits where it can go. The other kind would plug into one of the ports, and therefore it can hang, dangle, and go whichever way you want. So just showing you real quickly, see how this board, this is the USB cable here, and it plugs in here, so it can just hang down. This one has this cord that goes out the front, and so you see how far that cord extends in a particular direction. Just mentioning that so that you know, as you buy them and plan them, you want to think about those things. About that's more restrictive in where it could go. Like if I had this pointed up, that cord would have to come all the way up here and curve back, which could get in the way of closing this lid. So just so you know, something to be aware of. You're either going to have that USB cable plug into it that way, into that USB socket, or it's going to plug on the board itself, like that white piece there that goes to that black cable. All right, so you know that there is a difference. If you look at some of the buttons I have in my Street Fighter parts list, you'll see some have this type, others have the other type. So just bringing it up, if you're at the point of trying to decide, it does make a difference. So we'll need this cable to plug in here, and then we just need to plug the player 2 button into here somewhere. Alright, so we'll have to unscrew our cabinet. Now if your power cord is plugged in, you want to unplug that. Depending on how tight your USB cable is for the first joystick, you may want to unplug that from your Pi just to give yourself some freedom of mobility with this control panel when you pull it out. Now, I do all these videos to try and give you a heads up on things, so if you're planning, you take a look at all these different mods. You know, obviously, the more planning you do up front can allow you to alleviate from having to take this thing apart as often. Okay? So I'm going to give you a close-up, make sure I ain't got any tension on my wires. Seems to be okay. Just get you a little closer. So you see right now I just have the one encoder. Somehow I rebooted that.
So we're going to town out there.
He's so annoying.
I am in no mood today. Do we really have to go in there and chase him?
No. Why don't we just stay in here all day? We'll chill. We'll let him tire himself out.
I'm staying here all day.
Okay. So the second player is the top one here. This is plugged into this encoder here. So we'll need to unplug that. Don't break it. Get the edge of it. Alright. So we unplug that. And we plug it into here. We'll just plug it to the same button it was. Don't really matter. Okay. If you were going to do a two-player coin, now I have a coin box, so mine would differ. But if I was going to make one of these buttons below be the two-player coin, then I would have to decide which button that would be from this choice here. So I need some Velcro, something to stick to, so this thing will stick somewhere. But for now, I'm just gonna send this down and have it plug into the Pi. Okay, so I plugged in the USB cable to the Pi, and I just put a little Velcro there because this was already here, and I'm just going to sit that there just so it's not going anywhere. No big deal. And we'll just lower this for now. Alright, so if we back up out of here, we go to our main menu, configure inputs. Yes. Now you see it shows 2 game paths detected. And so now I'm pressing on this player 2 button and it's not, there it is. It's been detected, so I'll hold that. Alright, so this is gamepad 2. We want this to be start. Nothing else needs to be configured in my case here, so I'll go all the way down to the bottom. And you didn't choose any hotkey, That's fine, because we have let's get let's restart emulation station just for laughs and giggles. Alright, so now let's find the game. We'll find one of my favorite, Donkey Kong. Start that up. Get myself 2 quarters. 1, 2, and now hit player 2. Now you see you got 1 up, and player 1, player 2. And let's just test to make sure that this is player 1. You can't really see me, but I'm bouncing down here. Just back up a little bit. Controlling. Hello. We'll just get out here. Whoa, what's the blue one? Boom. Alright. So that's player 1. See the score blinking up there. Now we're switching over to player 2. They're starting their game. And just make sure we can control. And we can. So we're controlling player 2 with the 1 set of controls. And we'll just let him burn. No, we won't. It ain't no fun. Okay. So there you are. So that is what you must do if you want to have a player 2 option on your vertical modded Arcade1Up box. You need a second encoder. You'll hear a lot of people say, oh, you should be able to program the button. It's not going to happen. You need a second encoder. You know, this kit costs about $10, so for $10 you get your second player. And with the vertical style games, they don't really care. You don't have to have 2 coin buttons, because as long as there's enough credits in the system, you can play 2 players, but you can't play 2 player unless you have a second player. Okay? So thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the little bell, that way you don't miss any videos. I get email, or not emails, but comments all the time. Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? I have videos for them. Just click up there on my channel, go through the video list. I have one for every. If you're just getting started with this, I have just about every video that you would need to get set up properly. You just have to look through the videos. You know, when I'm spending time answering questions for things that's already said, that takes away from me answering questions for people that there aren't answers for. Okay, so, and you'll eventually get to what those new questions are. So if you're new, get going. I recommend going over to the Rival Boss. He has a great video on how to set this all up. You know, once you've got your hardware set up, how do you know, your buttons installed and everything that you got from the parts list together, how to get your image together. Okay, so definitely check his video out, and then come on back over here and get it configured. Get rid of the boot text, get rid of the bezels, use your built-in power switch and how to reverse that around, how to get your buttons set up, you know, all these things and more. How do you mod it out? How do you mod it, whether you have it as the stock image? What mods are available with that? What mods are available beyond that? So I hope you're enjoying the channel, and if you are, let me know. I don't know if you're just watching it and walking away because you're not saying anything. So make some comments below. Let me know what you want to see. What would you like to do with your machine that you kind of afraid to do or not really certain? Let me try it out. What's the harm in that? But I can't know to do that unless you're talking to me. subscribe so I know. You know, that's the key thing, because YouTube makes certain privileges available the more subscribers you have. So you guys, if you're not subscribing and you're just listening and watching, you're not helping at all, and that doesn't help the channel to grow. So hit the subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to do, so please do that. Like the video. All those things help get our channel positioned if we have the subscribers and we have the likes. I know every time I got those 2 or 3 people that's going to always come here and hit the down thumb. So you guys got to combat those silly people. I appreciate them, because those silly people still have to come and let my video roll, and I get a view as a result. But it's more of you than it are of them. So make sure you're liking the video and share it with people that you know. If you just got a cousin or your brothers finally listened to you and got his and it's going to start modding his, let them know about the channel. All right, guys. Until next time, I'll see you on the web.